feel that if this bill passed, they would feel unsafe. Whereas on April 5th, 2011, Collin College Student Government Association adopted the official stance in opposition of Texas House Bill 1167. Whereas 83% of 500 Collin College students surveyed voted in opposition of Texas House Bill 1167 and feel if this bill passed, they would feel unsafe. Whereas the Board of Trustees of the Alamo Community College District respectfully opposes legislation involving concealed handguns on campus. Whereas the Texas State Legislature may create financial burden for the creation, monitoring, and security. I was reading the wrong copy. Whereas the Texas State Legislature may cause a financial burden for the increase of monitoring and security after the passage of the proposed legislation. Whereas in cases of an active shooting situation, campus police will not have time to ascertain the initiator of the accident. Whereas community college environments may become more dangerous and increase more school shooting incidents. Whereas the proposed legislation may add an adverse effect on the recruitment and retention of students, faculty, staff, and visitors. And whereas Texas Junior College Student Government Association urges the 82nd Texas Legislature to vote against the adoption of the House and/or Senate bills related to these topics. Therefore, let it be resolved that Texas Junior College Student Government Association opposes the passage of Texas House Bill 1167 and any legislation that involves allowing handguns on college campuses. Be it further resolved that this action shall become effective immediately. So now, yes, on behalf of the Resolutions Committee, I move passage of this resolution.
I have a motion, and the committee, we do not need a second, but we shall proceed to discussion.
Mr. President,
That is recognized.
Ricky Alvarado, Collin College. For the sake of time, I'll be brief. On August 17, 2010, an individual armed and with a truck full of explosives drove to the Department of Public Safety in McKinney. This place was half a mile away from Collin College's McKinney campus. Collin campus police were the first individuals on the scene and were the first individuals to return fire to the individual. Eventually, the situation was neutralized and the shooter was dead. But this poses a serious question, and something that I asked for our dean of students and our campus police. And that is the fact that what happens when police and law enforcement approach a situation where multiple individuals, students, or shooters themselves, whether defending themselves or attempting to commit evil acts. And how are police and law enforcement able to identify who is just and who is really trying to defend themselves and who is truly trying to commit a heinous crime? After approaching and speaking with them, they told me that there's only one way to engage the situation, and it is that if an individual does not respond verbally to commands, whether they're distracted, really trying to defend themselves or otherwise, police only have one way to engage, and it is similarly to how it happened to the shooter on August 17th. Additionally, I wanted to add the concern of international students. According to the American Association of Community Colleges, nearly 33% of all international students attend community colleges. This is an additional concern because the passing of any legislation that allow handguns or firearms on campuses would decrease the number of students, international students, attending community colleges, considering the fact that they allow an additional amount of funding to community colleges due to the fact that they don't pay out of county, they pay out of state and out of country tuition fees. Finally, I want to close with the fact that we already have armed individuals on college campuses. They're called campus police, and it's their job to protect us. Adding gasoline to try to douse the fire doesn't work. And adding more handguns to a college campus doesn't make us any safer. Thank you.
Will the government hand his written remarks to the secretary, please? I'm sorry. Mr. Alvarado, will you hand your written remarks to the secretary, please?
I will do so. Thank you.
We shall now proceed to discuss the opposing side.
Author, Tyler College. I want to start with asking a simple question. What is to prevent me, if I were so to wish, to commit a crime as similar to a shooting at any of the campuses represented here? A law will not stop me. It's not as though if I walk into campus, there's a law against commit crimes such as at Virginia Tech and UT are cowards. They wish to do harm to others. They do not have the courage to face armed opponents. That is why they're choosing university, because the majority of the people there are unarmed and are easy victims. They wish to turn our universities into traumas where they can just unleash whatever hatred they have in them before they go to join their master in this hell. What can work at solving these people is fear. Fear of what can happen if there is an armed person on campus that they do not know of and they are not ready for. Fear is a major factor in the human experience. It is what has driven a lot. It's honestly what drives resolution. Fear of the unknown. Something we faced before in this country when people were afraid of what would happen compared to equal rights to minorities. It was produced in the same sort of soul about how if you grant these rights to people, all will be on. All hell will break loose, pardon me. But these naysayers have been proven wrong. The fact that we took a chance, faced the unknown, and granted rights to minorities to get a country of great nation. I believe we need to have the courage to face the unknown and try having a complete air license. We already have handguns banned, and it's not been any times. We know what will happen then, so I challenge us all to face and try a new solution. Vote, I want to ask you all to vote no to keeping our campuses a killing field for monsters. I want you to vote no to the fear of the unknown, and vote no to restricting the rights of individuals that are protected under the Constitution decided by the Supreme Court for us to defend ourselves. And remember this, if nothing else, if guns are outlawed, only outlaws will have guns. Thank you.
The floor is now closed. We shall move to the vote. All those in favor of approving this resolution, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Nay. Motion carries. Thank you.
Moving on to Resolution 2, a resolution opposing House Bill 1 reductions in education funding. Whereas at a time of historic student enrollment growth, the total cuts of community colleges exceed $767 million, comprised of $142 million in formula funding cuts from the last budget cycle, $342 million in student enrollment growth not funded, and $283 million reduction in employee group health insurance. And whereas these reductions will seriously impact the state's ability to grow its economy as fewer Texans receive training and educational opportunities at community colleges across the state. And whereas the Texas Comptroller's Office estimates that Texas community and technical colleges generate $2.1 billion in impacts that bring money into Texas from out of state annually. And whereas the Texas Comptroller's Office estimates that the economic impact resulting from the earnings of all Texans with associate degrees at $10.1 billion annually. And whereas in 2008, the median of the earnings of young adults with a bachelor's degree was $46,000, while the median was $36,000 for those with an associate's degree, $30,000 for those with a high school diploma or its equivalent, and $23,500 for those who did not earn a high school diploma or its equivalent. And whereas in 2008, expected lifetime earnings for citizens with associate degrees and bachelor's degrees is 32% and 63% higher, respectively, than with high school diplomas only. Therefore, be it resolved that the Texas Junior College Student Government Association opposes the passage of House Bill 1 explicitly because of its impact on education in the state of Texas, submitted to and adopted by the Texas Junior College Student Government Association on April 10, 2011. Mr. President, I move passage of this resolution.
I have a motion as it came from committee. It did not be seconded. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Nay. Motion carries.
And just real quick before we close, if you're a member of the resolutions committee, could you please stand? We spent a lot of time on these resolutions this year, and I hope that everybody's pleased with the results from this. And also, we tried something new. We invited as many people as we could get to come and